All right, today we're going to talk about something that might hit a little too close to home for a lot of you, the professional performance tax. We're going to dig into those invisible costs that just seem to appear when you start climbing the career ladder.
So let's just throw a number out there. $200,000 a year, right? For so many ambitious professionals, that's the number. It's not just a salary, it's the goal, the sign that you've finally made it. It promises all this comfort, security, a certain kind of freedom.
And yet, here's the thing. For a lot of people who actually hit that milestone, it doesn't quite feel like they thought it would. You know that nagging feeling, right? You look at your bank account and it just doesn't look as healthy as you pictured. The financial stress hasn't completely disappeared. So what gives? Why isn't that impressive number on your offer letter turning into the real wealth you expected? Well, that feeling, that gap between expectation and reality, that brings us to the whole point of this explainer. We're going to do a little audit on something called the performance tax. This is all about uncovering those hidden costs, the financial dreams that just come with the territory of having a successful, high-earning career. So, what exactly is this tax? First off, it's not the kind you pay the government. Think of the professional performance tax as a slice of your paycheck that you're practically required to spend just to keep your job in good standing. It shows up on your pay stub as income, sure, but in reality, it behaves more like a business expense. It's not discretionary, it's not for fun or for saving, it's just for career upkeep. And I bet some of these examples are going to sound really familiar. Think about it. Do you kind of have to live in a pricey part of town because a long commute would just look weird? Or your clothes. Is your closet just full of premium casual stuff that costs a fortune but is basically a uniform for your industry? And don't get me started on those optional networking events or client lunches that are, let's be honest, not optional at all. Yeah, these aren't luxuries, people. They're the cost of entry at a certain level. Okay, but this is where it gets even trickier, especially when you get that promotion you've been working so hard for. This is where we run into what we can call the paradox of promotion. It's this bizarre situation where a bigger paycheck on paper just doesn't translate to more actual wealth. You've got two major forces working against you here. It's like a 1-2 punch. First, you've got progressive taxes, right? So every extra dollar you make gets taxed at a higher rate. Bam. And second, and this is the big one, that new job title comes with a whole new set of expectations from your boss, from your clients, even from yourself. The two of them together they eat away at that raise before you even get to see it. Let's put some actual numbers on this because it's kind of shocking. You get a $10,000 raise. Awesome, right? You're already spending it in your head. But then, reality hits. After the tax man comes calling, that 10 grand is suddenly just 5,300 bucks. I mean, that's almost half of it gone. The gap is huge, both in your wallet and, frankly, in your head. You can see it here pretty clearly. That first bar, that's your big, shiny $10,000 raise. Then, poof, the middle bar is what you're actually left with after taxes. But that third bar, the one with the question mark, that's the real killer. That's where all the new expectations come in. The nicer suits, the pricier client dinners, chipping in for the fancy team gift, all of it. That $5,300, it disappears fast. Okay, so this all sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? But it's not hopeless, not at all. The secret is just changing how you think about it. It's about figuring out what your real take-home pay is. And you do that by getting really good at telling the difference between a true career necessity and, well, just a status symbol. And this really gets to the heart of it. True financial freedom, it's not just about getting a bigger paycheck. It's about really knowing where that money is going. It's about looking at every single expense and asking yourself a tough question. Is this expense actually mandatory for my job? Or is this just status signaling that's keeping me from actually getting ahead financially? And you can actually do this for yourself. It's like a personal audit in 3 simple steps. 1, write down every single thing you spend money on that's related to your career. And you gotta be brutally honest here. 2, go through that list and label everything. Is it mandatory or is it status signaling? And 3, once you see it all laid out in black and white, you can start making moves. You can strategize. Maybe you find a cheaper way to get that professional look, or you pitch a less expensive idea for the next team event. The whole goal is to cut that status spending and put that money toward what actually matters, building your wealth. So I'm going to leave you with this one last question, and I really want you to take a second and think about it. Look at your own job, your own spending. What tax are you paying? What's your own personal performance tax? And when you really honestly look at it, is it actually worth it?